USDA Egg Grading Manual, Agricultural Handbook number 75, Chapter 7, Determining Interior Quality by Hand Candling. Hand candling was originally developed as a method of sorting fresh eggs from storage eggs and for the detection of incubator rejects. With the changes in production practices and processing technology, hand candling is used very little in present commercial grading operations. Automated equipment and mass scanning devices have practically replaced these manual operations. However, hand candling is still an excellent method for teaching and demonstrating quality determination and is used for spot checking and verifying accuracy of mass scanning personnel. Hand candling booth. For purposes of quality control, there should be at least one strategically located candling booth in each grading plant. Ideally, the booth should be 8 foot wide, 4 foot deep, and 7 foot high. The proper type of candling booth needed for check grading or quality control is illustrated in Figure 47. The candling booth wall should be painted with a dark-colored flat finish paint to avoid light reflection. The booth should include an overhead light, exhaust fan, and at least 2 electrical outlets. Grading and candling equipment provided with the booth should include 2 hand candling lights, an electronic individual egg scale graduated in 1/10 ounce increments or less, a scale graduated in 1/4 ounce or less increments for verifying weights of consumer packages, a bulk scale graduated in 1/4 pound increments or less for verifying weights of shipping containers, test weights for verifying the accuracy of each scale, and breakout plates for periodic correlations of the candled versus the broken out appearance of eggs. Hand candling lights. There are many styles and types of candling lights commercially available in which the light intensity and the size of the candling light opening vary considerably. Most of these lights are satisfactory if they are adjusted to provide comfortable and proper illumination for the job. It is largely a matter of becoming accustomed to the type of light in use. The accuracy of the hand candling results can be checked by breaking out an occasional egg and comparing the broken out quality with the candled quality. In hand candling operations, there should be no cross beams of light between the candler and the candling light. The candling light should be properly adjusted and focused to give better and more uniform candling results. The light should be at about elbow height for the candler and placed so that the light does not shine in the candler's eyes. Graders may adjust their quality interpretation slightly according to different types of candling lights or varied adjustments of the same light. In selecting a candling light, therefore, it is best to select one type of light and keep it clean and properly adjusted. Once a grader has adjusted candled interpretation to a reasonably close correlation with the broken out appearance of eggs, uniform grading can be maintained with moderate supervision. The opening that the egg is held up for examination should be no larger than 1 1/8 inches in diameter. The opening at the bottom of the light should be no larger than necessary to provide sufficient illumination to detect dirty eggs and to observe the condition of the packing material. The light should be adjusted so that its aperture is approximately on the level of the grader's elbows. The interior of the candling light should be kept clean and free from dust to assure maximum light efficiency. If a lens and a reflector are used, they should be freed periodically of the film-like coating that tends to build up over time. The reflector should be kept in adjustment and the silver surface should be intact. Hand candling technique. Prior to actual candling, the grader should make a preliminary examination of the general appearance of the eggs to be candled at the time the container is opened or the flats are removed from the sample case. This preliminary examination is to initially segregate the eggs for cleanliness. Eggs with only very small speck stains or cage marks may be considered clean if such small specks, stains, or cage marks are not of sufficient number or intensity to detract appreciably from the appearance of the eggs. While the eggs are still standing, are while the eggs are still in standing position, the grater should remove and candle the eggs with stained or dirty shells. This procedure will assist in removing dirty or stained eggs that are noticed at first glance. The grater should remove the remaining eggs in the container, 2 eggs in each hand for candling. On the way to the candling aperture, the eggs in each hand should be rotated under the light that illuminates the contents of the sample, commonly referred to as a case light. As the eggs are rotated, the grater should observe the shells for stains or dirty conditions. This operation, rotating and observation for cleanliness, should be performed rapidly enough that the motion of the hand from the case light to the candling aperture is made in one sweeping motion. Any stained or dirty eggs that are detected at this point should be candled and segregated before the candling of clean eggs is begun. When the eggs are placed before the candling aperture, the grater should remove previously undetected dirty or stained eggs. The candling light must provide sufficient illumination to detect checks and interior defects. Light reflection from the bottom of the candling light is used to detect stained and dirty shells. When hand candling, the grater should always have clean, dry hands to avoid staining shells. The candling aperture should be of a material that will not mark or stain the shell and will aid in minimizing breakage. In determining interior quality by hand candling, it is customary to hold 2 eggs in each hand, supporting one egg by the tips of the thumb and index finger and holding the other against the palm with the other fingers. The small ends of the egg should point toward the palm of the hand. After one egg in the hand has been candled, it is shifted back in a rotating motion to the palm of the hand, and the second egg is brought into candling position. The eggs are viewed alternately before the light. The uppermost egg in one hand is examined first, then the uppermost egg in the other hand, and this procedure is repeated after the position of the eggs in each hand has been shifted. After the first egg is candled and the hand is dropped slightly back and downward, the third and fourth fingers are relaxed, letting the uncandled egg roll downward slightly. At the same time, the thumb and index and second fingers guide the candled egg into the palm of the hand. The third and little fingers then roll the uncandled egg into the candling position between the thumb and index finger. Meanwhile, the little finger and third finger hold the candled egg in the palm. The position of the egg is changed in one hand while one of the eggs held in the other is being candled. During this finger to palm rotation, proficient candlers carefully conduct the belling process to detect blind checks. The ability to quickly rotate 2 eggs in each hand makes for more rapid work and should be practiced until reasonable dexterity is acquired. In manipulating eggs before the candling light, it is important that the rotation of eggs in each hand and the twirling motion before the light become mechanical. Dexterity in this rotation operation permits the grater to concentrate entirely on placing the egg before the light rather than on changing its position, on rotating the 2 eggs, or on concern over dropping the eggs. It also helps the grater develop a rhythm which improves uniform timing of judgment, therefore making possible greater proficiency. In order to obtain a proper view of the egg while candling, it is necessary to have the contents spinning within the shell at the time of viewing. This can be achieved in one smooth motion when the 2 eggs in one hand are being rotated and moved toward the aperture in the candling light. The contents of the egg will be set in motion by a movement of hand and wrist in an arc of about 180 degrees. Stopping the hand motion at the end of the arc without moving the arm or body permits the contents to spin within the shell. The long axis of the egg shall be at about a 45-degree angle to the candling aperture. The thumb and index fingers should be on opposite sides of the shell without obstructing the grater's view. After gaining some experience in the candling operation, the grater will learn to have the egg contents spinning at the exact instant the egg is placed before the candling aperture. Speed and accuracy in hand kindling should be accompanied by careful handling of the product. When eggs are returned into a carton or filler flat, they should be placed carefully, not dropped, and always packed with the small end down.